Day has passed like a hurricane.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm bringing you this eye makeup look using the Naked 3 palette. Every time that I look at this palette, I just automatically think Valentine's just because it's so beautiful and it's filled with pinks and mauves and rose golds. That just screams Valentine's Day. And so I wanted to use that palette in order to bring you an eye look for this upcoming lovers holiday. I really hope that you all enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you do. And if you do decide to recreate this look or any of my future looks or any of my past looks, please hashtag at allbeauty_by_Sarah on Instagram, on Twitter, because I do have both. I absolutely love seeing recreations of my work, and I'll start looking, liking, commenting, and all that fun stuff. If you're interested in seeing exactly how I achieved this look, then just keep watching. Okay, so to begin the look, to start off with, as you can see, my lids are pretty pigmented on their own. And so what I do is I always apply my soft ochre or my Painterly MAC paint pod. This is the soft ochre one, so that is the color that I'm using today. And I'm just applying a thin layer of that onto my entire lid in order to not only prep and prime my eyelids, but also to even out my skin tone. And then applying my NARS pressed powder in the color Mountain. And this will not only help set the paint pod, but it'll also help with any creasing, and it will allow me to blend a lot easier. Using my Sigma E40 brush, which is just a big blending brush, and the color Limit from the palette, I'm going to be using this color as a transition shade, and therefore I'm going to be applying it onto the crease and to the section that's directly above the crease using windshield and buffing motion. So going back and forth using that motion, so circular and back and forth. And then I'm just going back and packing that color onto my lid as much as I need to in order to really not intensify the color, but so that it really shows on my lid. Using a Sigma E25, which is just a smaller blending brush, and the color Nooner from the palette, I'm applying this onto the crease in the same way that I applied my transition shade. So windshield wiping and circular motions back and forth, but making sure that I concentrate most of the product on the outer portion of my eye, just because I don't want to close the eye in. And just like I did in the previous step, going back and adding more product until I am content with the intensity of the color. After that, using the exact same brush and the color Dark Side from the palette, I'm going to be packing that onto my outer V mainly and dragging that into my crease a little bit, so not all the way in. As you can see, I'm kind of steering clear from the inner portion of my crease. I don't want to close my eye like I mentioned, and so I want to keep most of the product on the outer half. And just like with the previous two colors, going back and adding a little bit more product at a time in order to build up the color to my liking. Using the brush that came with the palette, I went ahead and I sprayed that with some Max Fix Plus, but always remember that you can always use eye drops, and it works just as well on eyeshadows as Max Fix Plus does. Anyway, I grabbed the color Buzz and just started packing that onto my entire lid, skipping, of course, the outer portion, so like the outer V. I don't want to interfere with the darker colors that are on the outer V. And then I wasn't really sure that I liked the intensity of this color. I wasn't really popping enough for me, and so I added another layer of the same color. And then I was still not sure that I liked the intensity of it. So I sprayed my brush one more time and went in with the color Burnout this time and applied that on top of the color Buzz. And I was finally satisfied with the color on my lid. Using my Sigma E30, which is just a pencil brush, and the color Blackheart from the palette, I lightly grabbed that, so I literally just tapped the brush onto the pan one time, and then of course just patted the excess off of the brush. and then went into my crease. So I want to kind of build a little bit of a line along the crease. So I dragged it really lightly in order to start building up that intensity to where I really wanted it to be. Remember that it's always a lot easier to build up a black rather than to take away. It's a lot harder to blend out the intensity of a black if you go too heavy right away. So that's why I always recommend going in light and then building it up from there. It's just a lot easier to handle at that point. So here I am just kind of carving out the crease a little bit. I don't want to do like a cut crease or anything, but I did want to define my crease a little bit more. So I'm just going back and forth with this color in order to define the outer V and define the outer portion of my crease. Once I got the outer V portion to where I wanted it to be, I went back in with the E25 brush that I used on the second step in order to just blend it out so that there weren't any harsh lines, because of course no one likes to look at any harsh lines. Using my Sigma E06 and my Ulta Black gel liner, which I absolutely love, it's my absolute favorite gel liner of all time, I am going to give myself a thin wing. So it's not going to be too thick, it's not going to be too thin, but I mean it is going to be more on the thinner side than it is the thicker side. I didn't want the wing to overshadow all the hard work that I did on my lid. And then going back after I've applied the wing in order to just intensify that outer V and the crease color just a little bit more using the pencil brush. And of course, once again, once I was done, blending out the harsh lines. If you're a false lash kind of gal, go ahead and apply your lashes. These are from the House of Lashes in Pixie Luxe. And then I went in with MAC's eyeliner in Smolder and applied that onto my entire waterline. Using my Sigma E15 brush, which is just a flat brush, and the color Black Heart from the palette, I'm patting that onto my lower lash line. And then using the color Limit and the pencil brush, the E30 again that I had from the previous steps, I am just blending that out underneath. The lighter color is just going to help blending without adding too much darkness onto the lower lash line. Using a small detailing brush and the color Dust from the palette, I'm applying this onto the inner corners of my eyes, so like my tear duct area. And you absolutely have to use this shadow wet because it is quite glittery, so the fallout is just crazy. And of course, just finishing off the look by applying some mascara onto my top and bottom lashes. And to finish it off, I paired this look with a nice pink lip gloss, and this is from Manna Kadar in the color All of Me. And that is it, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you give it a shot this Valentine's Day. As always, take care, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!
Day has passed like a heart.